Call order to the San Ramon Parks and Community Services Commission meeting of February 11th, 2026. It's 7 p.m. Call to order, please. Well, it said call to order, so, okay, we'll do pledge and then we'll do call to order. All right, yeah. All right, Steve, where are you?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Kathy.
All right, roll call. Chair Breed,
Here.
Vice Chair Levy,
Here.
Commissioner Dorlick,
Here.
Commissioner Keeney is not here this evening. Commissioner Mitra,
Here.
Commissioner Osland, here, Commissioner Shetty, and Commissioner Jana Galata. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, special items, announcements. Henry, changes to the order of the agenda. We good?
There are no changes to the order agenda this evening.
Thank you so much. Temporary Employee of the Month. Ryan, welcome and congratulations.
Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening, Chair Breed. I am very honored and proud to be standing before you to honor Ryan Voigt, our Temp Employee of the Month for January 2026. And I'm going to start with this. This is incredibly long overdue. This employee is one of our most dedicated that we have on staff, as he started in 2017 as a junior lifeguard, and since then has moved up to be a very outstanding pool manager. One of the things I wanted to highlight is Ryan consistently goes above and beyond. He is incredibly reliable. He has one of the strongest work ethics I've ever seen, and he is a model employee for what we're looking for amongst our staff. He is being honored today specifically to highlight January and everything that he has done leading up to the whole supervisor transition within aquatics. He really stepped up, really supported me throughout the whole process, went above and beyond, and I could not be more grateful for his time and attention. Not only that, he has probably one of the best things that we have on staff, which is our comic relief. He is incredibly hilarious when he brings staff. He gives them a smile, and he likes to talk in the language of sarcasm and wit, which we really appreciate. Ryan is a double major from Cal State Fullerton with a double major in international business and global trade and business administration with an emphasis in finance. So in his off time, he has been volunteering with the finance department, learning all about that as well. So just want to give a quick, huge shout out to Ryan Voigt. He is an absolute rock star amongst the aquatics staff. Ryan, thank you so much for everything that you've done with the aquatics team and continue to do in all the long hours that you've given us. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you
Love
so
the
much.
finance part, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
So we can get a picture. You guys want to get a picture of him?
I do.
Oh, man. Kevin?
Yeah, Mr.
Oh,
Bob,
yeah, wait for Kevin.
If you're gonna do that, get
stay closer.
Good, thank you. If you'd like to say something, you're more than welcome to. So thank you
Oh,
so much, man.
I'll try my best. Well, thank you all. I just want to thank, I guess, my family for pushing me. My sister was actually a lifeguard before I was many, many, many years ago. So I guess it was kind of, the entry point. And then from there, Kevin Boggs was actually the one that certified me in lifeguarding and gave me the chance to actually work for the pool. So I guess I made it this far, 9 years now, this year. So I want to thank him for that, as well as Amanda for not only the speech, but also when she came into the position of coordinator and now supervisor. She spent a lot of time with, I guess, helping me kind of grow. She got me connected with some people within the city, and that's kind of how I ended up in the finance department volunteering. So I've learned a lot, not only with the pool, but also kind of the city as a whole. So Thank you all, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, Amanda, for writing that up and presenting it. We appreciate it. Okay, special announcements.
Yes, I have two quick ones. One, just a reminder, I know that the commission has been, we reached out to the commission to let them know about a potential March meeting date change. And right now we're looking at March 18th. We do have a quorum that has said that they will be available. So we do hope that for the rest that had not had that specifically on the calendar, we just want to give you the heads up that the March meeting will now be on the 18th at the same time, 7 p.m. So the second thing is also just another reminder to the commission. I know you should have gotten a reminder to complete the No B4 training. It is a online training that everyone needs to do for understanding what's going on with the computer and potential phishing and different things that you can look for. We want to make sure that is done. That is something that's important that each one of the staff and commissioners do, as it does impact not only our IT, but then also our risk management side of the house. So we want to make sure that everybody has that kind of completed if you haven't already. And that was just the two reminders I have for special announcements.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Hey, at this time, members of the public we're doing public comments. I apologize. At this time, members of the public are encouraged to address the Parks and Community Services Commission on any item not already included in tonight's agenda. Comments should not exceed 3 minutes, please. During public comment, members of the public are permitted to address commissioners on items that are not on agenda and within the commission's jurisdictions. Do we have any public comment?
We do not.
All right. We'll head into approval of the minutes. Hopefully everyone's had the opportunity to review the minutes. Any changes before we look for a motion? We're all good?
Second.
Okay, can you guys push your button? Thank you so much for doing that. So Commissioner Dorlick moved it. Commissioner Mitra seconded it. Any conversation? So everyone vote, please. Thank you so much.
Right, it's been accepted.
Okay, we are going to move into commission business. The first commission business is for the selection of the advisory committee interview panel. So the approval, the recommended action for the commission is to approve the formation of the ad hoc committees to conduct interviews and make appointments for recommendations for the Arts Advisory Committee, Library Advisory Committee, and Senior Citizens Advisory Committee. So basically, we're looking for interviews, folks interview for these committees. Kathy, how do you want to do that?
So first of all, thank you, Chair Breed and Commissioners. I just wanted to let you know that the applications are live, and we do have set for the interviews to occur the week-ish of March 2nd through March 10th. And I really just need 2 commissioners per category, if you will, 2 for arts, 2 for library, and 2 for senior citizens advisory.
Okay, we'll go down the line and see which one you'd like to do. Will, which interview would you like to do? Commissioner Dorlick, sorry.
Art.
Arts Advisory for Will. Commissioner Mitra.
I'll do art as well.
Commissioner Mitra and Commissioner Dorlick will do arts. Vice Chair Levy.
Library advisory.
Library Advisory. Thank you so much. Commissioner Osland.
Righty, thank you.
Senior Advisory for Commissioner Osland. Commissioner Shetty. Library Arts. So that puts me on Senior Advisory.
You are Commissioner Keeney.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to do that. I'm so sorry. Nothing come out
That's
right.
fine.
Thank you so much.
Great. So last year we had online interviews except for seniors because it worked nicely with the senior advisory committee. So is online still fine with you? I mean, I
Question,
think it's gonna
how
be.
many are we looking for? I mean, do we have any number? How many for this?
We do. So actually, in my staff report, we said we had 3 regular members for Arts Advisory, and that now is 4. So 4 regular positions and 1 alternate for Arts, 2 regular positions and 1 alternate for Library. And Seniors has 3 regular positions and 2 alternates, I believe.
So
Great.
art advisory has four plus 1 open positions.
Yes, please. Yes.
And how many applicants do we have?
We don't have a total number on that yet. The applications were opened last week and they close on the 26th.
Okay.
Any additional questions? So as next steps, you'll contact the commissioners for their interview.
Yes, I'll work out
committee,
a schedule
okay.
with you.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, we can move on to next, next point of business. Sorry, it is the Library Arts Committee, Library Art Advisory Committee Annual Report. So the recommended action, and I think Steve, let's see, Steve's come up with, so hang on, I'm on the wrong page. I apologize. The recommended action, it's recommended that the Parks and Community Services Commission receive and approve the Library Advisory Committee Annual Report for 2025, provide feedback to the Library Committee, and recommend the annual report be forwarded to the City Council. So there'll be action for us to do. So Steve and Cindy will be, I'm sorry, Mrs. Albert will be providing the report, and then also we'll take questions, then public comment, then comments from the commission. Welcome. I'm glad you're here and it's great to see you.
Thank you, Commissioner Breed, and the rest of the commission, and anybody else in the audience for having me here tonight. I am the staff liaison or advisor to the Library Advisory Committee. And since coming on as the advisor, I've been very lucky to be working very closely with the advisory members, including our current chair, Cindy Alpert. And Cindy has been very involved with both the Library Advisory Committee and the Library Foundation, and so she brings a wealth of knowledge. And tonight, she will be presenting the 2025 annual report for the Library Advisory Committee. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Cindy now to go over that annual report, and then we'll take any questions at the end of it. All right. Cindy.
Thank you, Steve. Good evening, Commissioners, Chair Breed, city staff, and members of the audience. Yes, as Steve said, my name is Cindy Alpert. I'm the current chair of the Library Advisory Committee, and am very happy to present our 2025 annual report to you. Here's a recent picture of our committee. We are comprised of 5 regular members and 2 alternates. Unfortunately, when this picture was taken, we did not have everybody there, so I'll just kind of introduce from my left to right. It's your left to right. We also have some support people in this photo here too. So, person on the left is Marina Shea. She's actually the Contra Costa County Library Commissioner, the San Ramon representative. We have our City Council Representative Richard Adler, and then committee member Jennifer Adams, she's vice chair, then me, Richard Durath, and then Sandy Silva, which some of you also know. Those are our committee members. Then also is Elaine Pedley. She is the library manager out at the Doherty Station Library, and then your friend Terry. So who's not pictured here is Musumi Koda, and then our 2 alternates, Lana Jackman and Siddhartha Pillapalam. There is a wealth of library knowledge in the committee members this year. The charge of the committee. So this is basically our guiding principles for what we do and why we do it. These were established back in 1992 when the committee was created. You'll see them in your annual report before you. There are more that we list as part of our charge. These are the ones that we primarily focused on this past year. So really, the primary charge of our committee is to be a liaison, to be an advocate of our libraries. We have 2 libraries here in San Ramon. We're very fortunate for that. We have one right across the street, which is really the primary library, the one that's visited most often. And then we do have one out in Doherty. So we are, again, very fortunate to have the 2 libraries. So the committee members essentially receive reports from various people. We take that information in, we evaluate it, we ask questions, and we provide feedback where needed. It's a great group of people. As I mentioned, we have some former librarians and library experts on our committee right now. And it's very, very helpful because they provide a whole different perspective on some of the things that we hear. So one of the things that we wanted to do this year is just give you an overview of all the different entities that actually influence the libraries here in San Ramon. It's a little more complex than some of the other areas of the advisory committee. So these are the areas and entities that really provide governance for our libraries. So first of all is Contra Costa County Library. So the Contra Costa County Library basically sets the foundation of how our libraries operate. They set the hours, they hire the staff, they provide the collections, they kind of give direction on programs and services, and they are attempting to provide consistency across all their locations. There are 26 libraries in the Contra Costa County, and they cover 18 different cities. So libraries really get their guidance from the county library system. The City of San Ramon is a great partner for us. They provide the facilities and the maintenance for our 2 libraries. They provide funding for additional hours, which we're very thankful for. And they, of course, provide city staff and commissioners to help guide us as well in our process. The third component is actually the Library Foundation. So this is a private 501c organization that's dedicated to fundraising for the libraries. So most of the money, well, all of the money that they raise goes back to supporting the programs and services in the libraries. We don't pay for staff. We do pay for some of the supplies, and we do pay for some of the, I'm saying we because I am on that committee as well, and we do provide some funding for the collection, which are the books that the libraries provide. And then lastly, of course, is the Library Advisory Committee. So we are a committee of the city. We report to the city council. We take input from all these other organizations in some respects, and we utilize that in making our recommendations and feedback as it relates to the libraries. So now on to our goals and objectives for 2025. We were very ambitious, and we had set 6 goals for ourselves, which really is a huge accomplishment because we really only meet 4 times a year. But all of these really do incorporate taking information from other organizations and from the staff, from the city, and utilizing that information to, again, provide feedback, advocate for library services, and really ensure that what these other entities are doing meet the needs of our community. So our first goal primarily focused on metrics. So how are the libraries performing as it relates to the services they provide? And some of the key service indicators that we received information on were related to the meeting rooms, technology, the collections, and then the operating hours. So there's a lot more that go into that, but these were the ones that we primarily focused on. Our second goal was to evaluate the library services. So these would be the programs, the activities, the operating hours, how the facilities are being used, the circulation, and this information generally comes from our library managers. So every meeting we have, they provide a very detailed report. They tell us about the programs that have been offered. They tell us about attendance. They tell us about their staff, where they're short, where they're hiring people. And then, of course, we talk about hours. That was a big impact this past year, but we are very thankful and very appreciative of the city in that they did provide the funds to add hours to our library. So we are one of the few libraries in the library system that have additional hours for our community. And again, thanks to Measure N, we're very appreciative of those funds coming back and allocating towards more hours in our libraries. Our third goal was really focused on understanding what the county is doing and how they're utilizing their strategic plan to help develop and deliver services at our libraries. So the Contra Costa Library has a strategic plan. It's very focused on usage. It's very focused on providing services to the communities. They want consistent programming and consistent services at the libraries. And we received a report from one of the library managers, and she went detailed through their strategic plan and showed us and explained to us how that aligned with our libraries here. So it was very, very helpful. The primary goal of the strategic plan is really to create a welcoming environment and ensuring that there are programs there that help build literacy across all demographics and all age groups. So it was very helpful and very informative. They update it, I think, every year, so I think it's something that we will continue to hear reports on. And this goal, of course, is our favorite goal. This is where we get to hear presentations by the library manager on books to go to Story Walk. So if you haven't been to Story Walk, it's actually right here in Central Park. It's a way to incorporate reading with parks, which is a really, really fun thing to do. So every meeting, we have 2 books presented to us. They come from the library manager who works with the 2 children's librarians at both libraries. And they always come up with really good books, and they're really hard to decide which one we want to choose. But these were the 4 that we picked this year. So they're changed seasonally, and a lot of times the topic of the book has to do with the season. They incorporate diversity, fun, more or less geared towards kids. But the idea is that if you're visiting the park, you can walk around and read the story and enjoy a couple of things at the same time. So that's the one of the goals that we enjoy the most. The next goal was we started talking about some of the benchmarks and performance measurements that have been used over the years to measure the effectiveness of our libraries. And we talked about wanting to perhaps look at those to see if there were some different ones that we could incorporate or different ways to get the information. And so we had a discussion about what we thought some of those indicators could be. We didn't really implement anything. We didn't change anything. It was really a conversation of directionally where should we go. But incorporated into the library manager's reports, we did get a lot of information on usage, on circulation, and our San Ramon Library is one of the most busy libraries in the system. Door counts, which means how many people are coming into the libraries. And then again, they always report on their participation, how many people attend their programs. They've offered some really great programs over the course of the last year, and I know attendance out at Doherty Valley as a result of that has increased pretty significantly. So many thanks to Elaine and her team for providing really fun and engaging services and programs to that community. This goal, our next goal, was collaborating more with the county and with the city to work on gathering feedback. So that was one of the other things that we were curious about. What does the community want? What do our users want in the library? The county library actually did conduct a survey in 2024. And they reached out to patrons and asked a whole series of questions that were focused on usage, on language preference, on visits, demographics, accessibility, all kinds of different things related to libraries. And we did receive a report on the survey feedback or survey results. It was very interesting, and the libraries, again, are now trying to incorporate more programs and services within what they provide to address what that survey feedback was. And one of the comments that we did have, and we're hoping to work with them the next time they do their survey, is the population of responses was a little bit lower than what we would have expected. And we as committee members were actually quite surprised we didn't know there was a survey. So we were hoping to provide a little bit of information and feedback to them to help them make the community more aware of the survey the next time they do it. So that was 2025. a very productive year. Like I said, we heard a lot of reports this past year, received a lot of information. But again, it's all very helpful in what our charge is, and that's making sure that the libraries are meeting the needs of our community. So for 2026, we're not quite as ambitious. We're trying to be a little more reasonable in what we can accomplish. But the first one is that, again, we'll continue to review annually the library programs, the facilities, the activities, what's going on in our libraries, and make recommendations to you, the Parks and Community Service, the city staff, and directly to our librarians and library managers. So again, our goal is really to make sure that those environments are conducive to an area for people to meet, to learn, and to grow within our community. The next goal is to continue to monitor the performance metrics. Again, you need to know how you're doing against some of these ways to measure how effective you are in the services that you're providing. We feel that it's really important to understand this because, again, it helps us deliver feedback and some guidance to the library managers and how they can serve our residents here in San Ramon. The third goal is we want to continue to visit the Contra Costa County Strategic Plan. Again, they're the primary drivers of what happens in our libraries here. So we want to make sure we understand what that strategic plan is and how it's being implemented here in both of our libraries. And just, again, ensure that it's aligning with what we need because all the communities are different. And so we just want to make sure they're doing what we think is important for us. The fourth goal is we want to do a little bit more collaboration and partnership with some of the other groups that do influence the libraries. And so we want to make sure that we understand the funding that comes from the Library Foundation and make sure that there's not overlap or redundancy in what's being provided by our libraries, whether it's from a service or a program, and just really understand more about what the foundation does. The foundation provides a lot of the funding for the programs that are offered and the services that are offered in the libraries. And so we just feel that understanding and developing more of a partnership will just help us continue to do what we're intended to do. And then lastly, we're going to continue to review StoryWalk. We do, like I said, mentioned at every single meeting, we do have presentations by our library manager on the books that she's selected. And it does make it a little bit fun for us from an advisory standpoint. So I thank you very much for the opportunity to share our accomplishments and explain what we're intending to do for this next year. Our committee members really are true advocates for the library. Our hearts are all in what we do there, what's being done in our libraries. And we want to continue to make them a forever place for people to gather and to learn and grow here in San Ramon. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll take any questions that the commission has. If you have any questions, let me know. Vice Chair Levy.
Thank you. And great presentation, Cindy. Of course it was. We all have a lot of experience with libraries at this point, and it's a terrific amount of work that the committee has done. I really like the amount of detailed accomplishments and stuff this year. This is really good. My question was about the patron survey, which, like Cindy, I'm also pretty involved with libraries, and I was also unaware of that it happened. But even if I had, I feel like, since it's county-wide, it wouldn't be specific to San Ramon. It would be about the county library experience as a whole. Is there anything that would prevent the city or inhibit the city from doing its own sort of patron survey specifically about experiences with the San Ramon libraries? Is that something that's possible, or is that something that the county would, frown upon?
So, I'll add just a couple of things. So the survey actually was specific to each library.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to provide us with information based on how the patrons in our community responded. So that was
Good.
that was new. I don't think they've been able to do that in the past.
Good.
That was really helpful. As far as whether the city can do it, again, that is something that we wanted to talk about for 2026, but
Yeah, and just to kind of go along with that is when the community library managers were present and we learned about the survey, and we also learned that they can break it down per library, which I think we were excited about because that was nice to learn about what and how the questions they asked impacted the San Ramon libraries. The turnaround from the advisory committee was how can we assist when you do this survey again? And then the library managers seemed open to feedback too on questions to ask. So it sounds like it was well received as a collaborative effort. Of course, it's a countywide administered survey, and so it would probably have to be worked through the library managers to see how much feedback they would take. But they were very open to helping, allowing the advisory committee help, have the survey administered, because specifically we would know, and it's to the specific library, which was nice as well.
Okay, no, that's good. That's
And
good to know that it's custom.
if I can just interject really quick, I mean, I think that would need to come from our library specifically wanting feedback from our city, where this was more countywide. So that wouldn't be something that the city would initiate without their support or wanting to have it, because we would hate for them to do a survey wanting to know about our facilities,
Fair
and
enough,
vice
yeah.
versa. So we would, of course, support that, but that would be something that the librarians would need to want, and then we would help facilitate that if that was. a
No,
need
that
from them.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any additional questions?
No, that was it.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Shetty.
Thank you. Very informative presentation. I loved it. Especially library, whenever I go, it's the level of energy is different there. So thank you for all the work you do. I do have question on the matrix you mentioned. Where can we find that? Whether, traffic, number of foot traffic, whether it's went up, what are the programs we offer, which is more popular, whether it went up or down. So where we can find that?
We receive a report directly from the library managers at every meeting, so it's part of our packet, our agenda packet. And so they'll have information in there as far as program attendance, commentary about things that are happening at the county level versus what's happening at the local level. And it's reports that they give to us, so I presume it's public information, that you would have access to through our advisory committee agenda packets.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Shetty. Commissioner Osland.
Thank you, Cindy. It was really nice presentation. I had a question about metrics as well, that first goal. And I was just curious, it says here that the input that you received from the city and county staff helped provide, clarify priorities for future improvements. And so I was just curious, kind of what came out of that?
Testing my memory. I'm trying to.
Well, some of the things that we learned when they did present was that the digital aspect and how people are checking out books has changed, especially since COVID. So I know that both libraries talked about more digital books being checked out. They do count that as part of the circulation, and I've seen that trend. They talked about the need and usage of things like meeting space and availability for people to come in and check out rooms. So they talked about those kinds of trends in those metrics, and being able to accommodate people throughout the day. Part of that also was why San Ramon has more hours allotted, because there was a need there by the community and a request by the community, and then with the passage of Measure N, they were able to reincorporate some of those hours for that. So then when they were looking at those metrics, it was how many people are coming through the doors, how many people are checking out the books online, and then the advisory committee would typically have a discussion on, are we are the libraries meeting those needs?
Thank you, Commissioner Osland. Commissioner Mitra.
Cindy, thank you for the detailed report as usual for every year. And also thank you, Steve, for driving them and helping them. I appreciate that. Quick question, just one quick question about goal number 5, which is explore the new set of performance benchmarking. Can you go little details on that? What kind of new sets that we are doing that we haven't done before?
So we used to get a report that was based on some metrics that had been established in a general plan that's now been
Right.
updated. And it was things like how many outlets per capita, how many seats per capita, things like that. And we as a committee felt that that wasn't very useful information and just trying to measure how well libraries were being used. And so we want to move more towards usage, programs, just like Steve said, circulation, people coming in the door. Are the meeting rooms being used? Do they need, are they overused, not used enough, things like that. So that's really what we were looking at as far as what to change. But of course, we need to work with city and with the county because it's not really us telling the library managers what they need to do. We can provide feedback and then they can go back to the county and say, here's what our patrons are interested or our committee is interested in learning about.
Is it aligned, just again, curious, second follow-up question, is it aligned to county guidelines or county matrices and things like that? Are we getting it from there or pushing it back like, hey, we need that, probably you also can incorporate those things, new matrices?
We're getting it from the county.
From the
Yeah,
county.
yeah. So they established metrics that are pretty consistent across libraries everywhere. And so, yeah, we're getting the information from them.
From them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mitra. Commissioner Dorlick,
Oh, thank you.
thank you.
Question. I don't want to call them extended hours, but the hours that were taken away and then returned with the Measure N funding. Has there been an analysis of what the usage and traffic is during those hours that, equates to the dollars that are being spent to keep the facilities open? Has it been demonstrated that there is a return on that?
I suspect that the library managers have seen those statistics and whether they've been very specific in sharing them, I'm not exactly sure. But if you don't mind, I'll put on my foundation hat. And we have a bookstore over at the San Ramon Library. And then during the time that the library was closed on Monday, obviously we couldn't sell books. And so if there's any kind of a return, we've seen a significant increase in sales of our books through the bookstore. So that goes back to helping to fund the programs in the library
So during those hours?
during those hours.
Returned?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep. And
But no traffic studies that you know of that said there's more patrons coming through or they're utilizing the library during those times to an extent that would, have a return on that, those funds being used for those hours rather than some other purpose?
well, personally, I think just from the sheer fact that the library's open those days, it's now available for people to use. And so the libraries have been able to offer programs on those days, services on those days.
So
Kids can come in
anecdotally,
after school on those days.
okay, so anecdotally, it seems to be
I think
paying
so.
off, but there's no real numbers that we've seen.
Not that we've had
How the
an
traffic has
official.
increased. Okay.
And it is something that, we can take into account and we can go back to the community library managers and ask if they can break down that.
Yeah, it'd be
That is
nice to
something we
know.
can inquire about. Well, it would be how many people have come in, let's use Monday as an example at
Mhm.
the San Ramon Community Library. We can ask if they could provide us some kind of statistical data of like how many people entered the library on a Monday, because we know nobody entered when it was closed. So
Well, right, yeah, no, exactly. But I mean, if it's one person and
Mhm.
we're selling books for the foundation as opposed to, 35 people that come in and we're getting money for the foundation, then, we're seeing a little bit better return on that investment. Great, thank you.
Okay, I just have one question. Hey, Seth, first of all, thanks on this. Only one question, as the survey data, and now that I know it's broken down by libraries, because Commissioner Shetty asked my other question, is do we look at that data and see if we should incorporate it as our goals for next year? Or was there anything standing out that says, hey, this is something we need to take a look at as a community to serve our community better?
So the library managers have done that.
Okay,
And they have incorporated new programs and offerings within the libraries to meet the needs of what was expressed in that surveys. One example is a lot of our population are older. And so they've created book clubs for our older citizens to come in. English as a second language is another need that was expressed, given, again, the demographics of our community. And they've created some literacy kinds of groups to help with that particular aspect. And then lastly, again, because of our demographics, there's a whole collection now out at Doherty that is in Hindi language to serve those. So they did, and they did report back to us that they incorporated new programs to meet the needs of what was expressed in there.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
Is there any public comment, Kathy?
There's not.
Okay, at this time, I will ask the commission if they have any comments before we vote to forward this to the city council. Are there any additional comments from the commission? Nothing? Commissioner, go ahead. Commissioner Osland?
Yeah, I just want to say I really enjoyed your presentation. I really liked the fact that you showed the different tiers of partners and helped kind of explain that and unpack it. I thought that was very well done, and thank you for doing that. I love everything you guys are working on. I love the energy, and yeah, take it easy on yourselves. 5 is a good amount of goals. Thank you.
Okay, any other speakers? I have one or two comments.
Okay.
Hey, so I want to tie into what Commissioner Dorlick said is as this report goes to the city council, I think it would be really important to share with the city council that those hours added back, how many more citizens are we serving? Just because if we ever run into that challenge again and they make a choice, that we have data to show that that's probably not a choice they want to make or also make. So anything we can provide to the city council within that framework, that they added back the hours and here's how many people we're serving, I think would be really important in this report. The second thing is all that survey stuff that you just mentioned. I think that'd be really cool for them to know that, you know, our committee is, and the libraries are listening to the community, and here's some actions we've taken. Just so, I don't know, I just think it's important for the city council to understand that, you know, this committee is really taking a lot of actions to serve the community. So that's just some feedback I would
Great,
have.
thank you.
You're
Yeah,
so
that's
welcome.
good.
Okay, so any other feedback before we look for a vote? Okay, anyone want to vote or move? I'm sorry, anyone want to create a motion? I'm
Yeah,
so sorry.
I'll move. Oh, okay. I'll move to approve the Library Advisory Committee Annual Report and recommend that it be forwarded to the City Council for consideration.
Mover was Vice Chair Levy, second Commissioner Barlow. Okay, any further discussion? No further discussion, we will vote. Just gotta wait for the screen. Okay, let's see if everyone, okay, the motion passes 6-0. Cindy, thank you so much. Steve, thank you so much for your time. Good seeing everybody. Appreciate it. We'll move on to our next, Steve, you get to stay, which is great. Well, our next report, which is the Senior Advisory Committee report. And let me get to that really quick. It is recommended that the Parks and Community Service Commission receive and approve the Senior Advisory Commission annual report for 25-26. Provide feedback to the Senior Advisory Committee for 26-27. So we're providing feedback. We're not moving to the city council for this, just feedback. Okay, you're up. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Breed and Commission, for having me back again. And I am also the staff liaison for the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee, and that's what's bringing me here tonight. I believe we are asking to receive feedback and approval before passing on again. So I think at the end, if we can get everybody's feedback, and then if we can get that approved, that'll help us get this on to City Council at the end. I'm very lucky as serving as a staff liaison to these advisory committees. We've had just exceptional chairs, and so I'm very excited tonight to introduce Udaya Rajbandari, who will be presenting our 2025-2026 Senior Citizens Advisory Committee Annual Report this evening.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Chair Breed, fellow park commissioners, staff, and members of the public for giving us the opportunity to present fiscal year 2025-26 annual report of the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee. I'm Udaya Rajbandari, chair of the advisory committee this year and would like to thank the commission for your guidance. Serving the senior advisory committee this year is Jiming Chu, who's the vice chair, Colette Clark, Sandra March, Judith Murphy, and Zeno Rasmussen. According to the Senior Advisory Committee bylaws, the object and charges of the committee are what guides us. The committee object and charges in detail are listed in the packet that we gave and also in the presentation. To highlight a few of them, we advise the staff, commission, city council on senior programs, services, senior center policies, advocate for senior issues within the San Ramon community, identify service challenges and recommend solutions. As you guys know, and also heard during the library presentation, the senior population in San Ramon is increasing significantly. And I'm just proud to report that for fiscal year 2025-26, our committee was able to accomplish all our goals. We had 4 goals, and our first goal was to evaluate the effectiveness of Encore newsletter. That's a communication tool that we use to inform all the San Ramon's 55+ population by assessing its current usage and format, gather feedback from senior center users, and provide staff with a recommendation. By working closely with the staff and Senior Center Foundation, we secured resources to move to 4 quarterly publication from its previous sprint of 3 quarters. So as you can see from the picture, which is there, that, the Encore newsletter gives information to our seniors to come and join the Teen Council Days, where we're providing intergenerational knowledge and technical services that Teen Council provides to our seniors, and also talk about the Live Well Senior Resource Fair, which is a very popular community fair for the seniors. As you can see from the picture, there was a long line for that fair. And it also is a gathering place for socializing and learning. Our second goal was to collaborate with staff and provide recommendation on the development of the new survey question for the senior needs assessment. It happens every 4 to 5 years, right, Steve? Yeah. Every 4 to 5 years. So that requires a lot of meetings and a lot of coordination with the staffs to come up with the new survey questions to ensure that actual emerging needs of our current residents are captured. They took a lot of time. We went and, took the survey to our annual barbecue, Live Well Fair, and also handed it out to our various living facilities around San Ramon. And, so that you would have a data-driven roadmap for the commission and the city council to, to meet the needs of growing senior population in San Ramon. So the needs assessment was administered during the National Senior Center Month in September of 2025. And the third goal was to identify and collaborate with the key related community stakeholders, including local organizations and service providers, to develop volunteer outreach program aimed at connecting with seniors in San Ramon. Works with senior outreach partners, Belmont Village, Ivy Park, Brookdale and Vista Valley Vista. As you can see, seniors are one of the very active volunteers, as we can see during our volunteer appreciation day, that there are many seniors who actively volunteer a lot of hours. And our fourth goal was to review the bylaws, to make recommendation for changes of the name and also the frequency of meeting. We used to meet every month, and sometimes, it was a little too much. So I think we went to a bi-monthly meeting, which is more productive for our time. And as mentioned, our committee members also goes to a lot of other city commission and advisory meetings and reports back on what is pertinent to the seniors. And we also have, we appreciated the council and commission liaisons who attend our meeting and update on issues that impact our population. So now going forward to 2026, 2027, our goals kind of was kind of keeping intact the growing population. How do we meet the needs? The goals had to be shifted to meet the needs of the growing population. So we kind of changed a little bit, and we said, okay, collaborate with the staff to research requirement and benefits of becoming age-friendly community. Because, with age-friendly community is one that intentionally, what kind of programs, services, spaces, can we develop so that we can have, safe, stay active, avoid isolation, take care of the food insecurity of our growing population. So we thought that was very important with the population that's really increasing. How can we, kind of focus the resources? Where do we get the resource? What's important for our population? So that was what the focus was when we tried to do the 26, 27 goals. And we also, our second goal is to work with the staff to evaluate ways to expand on-site resources. So maybe make it like a referral system, outreach efforts to strengthen Alcesta Senior Center and make it like one place where all the information for the seniors can be, the senior could come to that Alcesta Senior, get all the information, what are the needs. As we age, our needs are very different. And those needs are very different between 70s to 80s to 90s. So that's what is, that was also kept in mind to make our goals. And our third goal was to provide meaningful volunteer opportunity, just not volunteer opportunities, but what can be meaningful for older adults across city programs, special events, partner organization. So I'm glad to report that, we are already starting a program very soon on a monthly basis, what is called, What is Your Expertise? And during that time, it will be a monthly talk in the senior center where people will share their experiences and expertise. And I'm sure it'll be very popular because, that's one thing. And our fourth goal is to, kind of host community walks in local parks and gathering places where we can meet them on a very informal basis and talk what are their needs and, how they spend time. It's because the socializing factor has become very, very important with the aging because isolation. And so, we just want to make sure they have healthy aging, strengthen social connection. That's what we are trying to create so that, people will come. And so in last, what we have seen in last, year is the activities, after you can see the data and activities, it has really gone up, the participation in the lunches and, all other activities. Our sports, especially bingo and all, is very popular. I heard that every time it's about 70, 80 people. And during the Super Bowl, how many people were there? Almost like 90 people, right? It was full. It was sold out crowd. On January 31st, they had a bingo for Super Bowl bingo. So it was thing. So as San Ramon's senior population continues to grow, the demand for programs and services and resource allocation will also increase. On behalf of the Senior Advisory Committee, I request your continued support and investment to ensure that city can effectively meet the evolving needs of older adults. We appreciate your ongoing commitment to San Ramon seniors. I would like to thank you, Chairperson and Parks and Committee service members, again for allowing me this opportunity to present. I just wanted to share that picture. That is Joe Alvarez celebrated his 101st birthday at the Senior Foundation weekly birthday in a bingo game. And I heard there are about 15 members, correct me, Steve, if I'm wrong, who is around 900 years, right? 15 members? Did we say? Over above 90? So needs are very different. So if there are any questions, I or Steve from the staff will be able to answer them.
All right, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We really appreciate you taking the time to give us that report. It's awesome. At this time, I'll take questions from the commission. So if any commissioners have any questions for the Senior Advisory Committee, please let me know through our electronic means. Right now, I don't see any questions. Do we have, oh, go ahead. Commissioner Osland, sorry about that.
It's kind of a similar question that I asked the library Advisory Committee. So your goal number 2 for 2025 was to collaborate with staff and come up with a survey. So I was just curious, what were some of the findings, maybe some highlights of the feedback that you had received?
It will help me with that. I think we got about 200, yeah, almost 250 responses, and the main thing was the exercise and all that, right? Programs.
Yeah, so so we saw, putting out the survey and it coming back, fitness activities for our older population is still one of the most popular asks that we have. But in doing that, a variety of activities that go from someone who's younger at a higher intensity, and having a variety of activities for individuals who then might need more assistance, to balance activities. And also a lot of inquiries about, offering a variety of activities across ages and cultures, and trying to accommodate some of those different needs. We see a lot of people who have interest in singing, and coming in and having opportunities to socialize amongst friends. And so looking at all those little pieces, we saw a lot of that. Can we have singing in multiple languages? Can we have more afternoon activities? Because some of our younger seniors are still working, and may not be able to come in as early as some other people. Volunteer opportunities continues to be a way that we are seeing people. I know it's always a hardship when you get older to say, do I want to utilize a senior center? A lot of people come in as volunteers, and that's wonderful. And they start that way, and they start teaching a program. And as Udaya mentioned earlier, one of the things that just came out of one of these other groups that we have, was that they wanted to see, way to share, their lives, what they've done. I mean, the San Juan community is just filled with all these individuals who have all these amazing stories, and we realized we need to be an outlet to give somebody to come in and share their expertise, whether they were an engineer, mathematician, an adventurer or something, and
Love that.
they all want to share. So to do that, we've also just seen a lot more inquiries about having just a place to come and meet. And so, recently we started a friendship group, where it's just a way for people to come together and talk about the hardships that come with aging as well. So we saw a lot of that through the survey results, plus, the things that we are offering, but just sort of emphasizing, please continue to offer those, things that you are doing. So, it's kind of a variety of things, but I think we were, one thing we did come to consensus is that we are doing a pretty good job of meeting, at least our fitness programs. But I think there's always a way to look at it. Can we do more on the weekend? Can we do more evenings, as Udaya mentioned?
Thank you, Commissioner Osland. Commissioner Mitra.
Okay. Thank you, Vidya, for your guidance to the senior citizens group. And it has been really great to have a senior citizen center and supporting and catering the senior citizens on that. And with knowing the whole demographic changes, it is a huge, huge need. And thank you for you and the whole senior citizen group advisory committee to do this one. I have a question probably for the Steve, right? I have few local nonprofit organizations. They really want to, and again, YouTube India as well, really want to be associated with the senior citizen advisory committee groups in the center and do things. They have volunteers. They want to do something, but most of them, they do not know how to start, whom to start with, whom to talk to, and what kind of programs will be allowed to. I mean, is there any areas, any ideas that, hey, you know what, I'm just taking a name, Agumoni. They have it. They have a CPA group that they really want associated with the senior citizen group. Is there anything they can do?
Yeah, you can go because you have to work within the,
Exactly. That
allowed
is exactly my
to
question
do
is.
because, that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
But then, we have to stay within the guidelines of what city wants. So,
Okay.
we have to talk there.
So Udaya would probably say, please check with Steve, and Steve, find a way to see if we can find a way to make this happen. And I would say yes, absolutely. So I would say that, you know, the best way to start is if they can get in contact with me. I mean, my information's posted, or they want to come into the center. We are always looking for new groups to offer services. We are very reliant on those entities that want to service the senior community in certain ways, because again, as we go back to who's the expert, some of those nonprofits might be addressing a certain need of the community that we don't know. And so if we can have them come into the center and provide that service, we would, you know, gladly try to work with them to do that. We have a couple different ways to do it. I mean, it could be a presentation. It could be becoming an outreach partner with our senior center, that, you know, we work with all the private, you know, assisted living facilities, and we live in other general 55+ facilities in our community. Or they could come in and offer programs. And so we do have some nonprofits who already do that. And they come back and then they give back that experience to the senior community. So, I mean, I guess it's just, I would have them start though, if they could reach out to me, you know, and find my information, or start with you, Commissioner Mitra, and you can pass them on to me.
Sure.
And then Udaya will follow up with me and say, Steve, have we done that? So we'll work on that.
So I think there are two ways that can be done, the way I was thinking. Like, I mean, they might have something and they come back and talk to you guys and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Is there any way can you do that? Then you can say yes, no, or whatever, maybe, whatever. The other one is like, you wanted to do start some programs. They have volunteers, and they can come in and help you organize that, or help you on making that happen, right? So and you are open to both, right?
Yeah.
So I can tell them that to talk to you guys and see what they can go from there, right?
Yes, I think that would be wonderful. And also they can come to the senior advisory committee, and, you know, during public comment, or, you know, introduce themselves.
When is that meeting?
It's every other month on the first Monday of the month. And so the next one will be April. What is April?
First Monday, sorry.
April 2nd? I don't want to say April 1st.
So first Monday
Yeah,
every alternate month.
Yes,
Okay, I'll find out.
Every bi-monthly.
April.
Bi-monthly,
Monday.
yeah.
I just wanted to add, like, you know, we do have some collaboration going on right now during the tax season. ARP puts up, it'd be nice to volunteer
I know
their
that,
through
yeah.
tax aid to do their taxes for, you know, the
Yeah.
seniors and whoever. So we do have those kind of collaboration also.
And
you
what
went
time- sorry.
PPA, so
Okay. What time is the meeting?
10.
10 o'clock in the morning.
10? Okay.
Yeah, it's seniors meeting.
Got it. Got it, absolutely. Absolutely got it. Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to emphasize, and just talking about, sorry, you have another question?
No, I'm gonna ask you a favor. If you could speak in the microphone,
Oh, sure.
more for the people online so they could hear you, because what you're saying is super valuable, and I want to make sure they hear
Yeah.
that. So that'd be great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I already did. I think I wanted to emphasize, we kind of need to plan for this booming aging population. So we do need to allocate some resources that is needed. Right now, we are able to do that, but how long can we? Because the number of participation is growing, because right now we are able to handle it, but I think in a few years, so we kind of need to plan for what are we going to do in say 4 years or 3 years and another 10 years. So thank you very much.
Anything
you.
else, Mr. Mitchell?
No,
Thank you so much. Vice Chair Levy.
Sure, thank you. No, great presentation. I'll echo what my fellow commissioners said. And for the goals for 26, 27, I really like that the 4 goals essentially complement each other and target different aspects of improving the quality of life for our growing senior population, like you said. So that's terrific. The question I had was about what is your expertise program that you mentioned, which sounds like a terrific idea, I think, to provide that kind of channel for people to share that expertise. How do you identify, or what's the process for identifying, submissions? Is it, just sort of an, open call and people can come and talk, or how is that advertised? How is that promoted? How do you select people to share?
I think it's in Encore and also correct me, Encore, and also, if somebody comes to Al Costa, we have billboards and all that. It's all advertised, whatever, all the programs are there. And a lot of them use the Encore newsletter.
Okay, so that's how it's advertised. How do you select who to actually share their expertise?
And just to emphasize, it actually came out of a version at our center right now. We do a version of a TED Talk. And so it's our Al Costa Senior Community Center TED Talk. And then they actually did a TED Talk on kind of this, what is your expertise? So it's relatively new. So the first few people who talked about it then wanted to come back and talk about their expertise. So we haven't established if we're overwhelmed with people who want to share all their expertise.
It's a good problem to have. just for the
But
record.
I hear that you, Commissioner Levy, I bet you're an expert in something, and
Oh, boy.
might want to come and share with our center. So we haven't. We're going to put
Started
it.
yet, right?
Yeah, it's going to be in the next Encore newsletter, and we're asking anybody who would like to come speak, reach out to the coordinator at our site.
Okay. No, thank you. That's very helpful. And then I guess my last sort of question is you identified, helping staff identify meaningful volunteer roles for older adults across city programs. And you correctly pointed out that the city provides a number of volunteer opportunities, including at the center itself. So could you speak a little bit to what you mean when you say meaningful, just so to help us understand how, we might be able to help in terms of promoting those kind of meaningful roles?
Because for seniors, depending on what their experience is, right? I can just give an example. Like for me, it was like, okay, finance background came, I wanted to do something for the community and, did the advisory and then went into do the taxes. So, sometimes they can identify, if they are the lawyer, then maybe they can do, the legal aspect of it. And depending on what your background is. And sometimes it could be, sometimes totally different, depending on their interest. Maybe somebody knows how to paint and they just want to volunteer, doing painting. There are some people who just want to teach, cards, poker or something. So it all depends. Sometimes they want to go with their background, what they have, and then, sometimes they want to say, hey, I don't want to talk about it. I've worked for so long. I just want to do totally different. But, I had a hobby. I was very good in painting. Now I can teach painting. So depends what is meaningful to you.
Okay. I like that. Meaningful to you. That's a very good summation. That's all I had. Thank you. Great job.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair. Commissioner Shetty.
Thank you, Udayaji, for a detailed presentation. I really appreciate it. And always look forward for the newsletter, what you sent. This times also I read like almost 2 times because it's very colorful, very detailed. Allowed it. And I think that's a good way to communicate for the people like us who are not regular there. So one quick question. You mentioned that the population of seniors are increasing. That obviously all of us can relate, and all of us will be there very soon. Is the number of participants going up compared to year over year because of this increasing in?
Yeah.
It
I
is.
think after COVID, during COVID, it had gone down. You can correct me, Steve. But like last year, we saw a really upward swing in like even lunch participation has gone up, and like we said, bingo, and then all the other activities. Like with the card games and all that, we have seen a lot of increase in that. And that relates to the increase in population. But on the other side, we also need to see that, some communities, it is difficult to have that communication to say, hey, here is a senior center. You guys can come and enjoy so many things, so encourage that. But the other things we need to make it is like make more aware of various communities to talk about, availability of senior.
I see.
He will give you some stats, right? We can, like in,
Compare the.
if we compare July quarter, July, September, I think the increase was
From 5.
5,095 total participation to almost 10,000 in 25,
wow.
26.
Above.
The total, participation in the meals, daily van trips, lunch bun trips, special events, fitness classes, and other drop-in classes. That's, I was like, just coming from, planning, I'm like, okay. It's just a numbers people, right? I was like, okay, we need to plan.
So, one more quick question, just curious. Do we have the movie night also for the senior? That's the one thing I don't remember
There is
seeing it.
movie night, Mondays, right?
Movie day, yeah.
Movie day.
Movie day, not.
Most of the
okay,
things is
movie day.
Yeah.
Once a month?
This time was like twice, right?
We do it twice a month. Yeah.
Twice.
Twice a month,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
And then, there's a lot of activities. They come and see,
Yeah.
visit us. That'd be nice. It's a nice facility.
Thank you, Commissioner Zeni. All right, Student Commissioner, Chadwick.
Hi. So I know one thing that you pointed out in terms of events that draw seniors in was the Senior Tech Days, which are relatively smaller events for the senior center. So I was just wondering if you had any feedback on, anything that we can do in terms of focusing on specific types of technologies. I know we got a little bit of feedback on like Android versus Apple and what different seniors had trouble with. And just anything that we can do to like increase our participation and our reach in that way that we can keep in mind for Senior Tech Days going forward.
Steve will tell you more, but I heard that it's very popular, like with phones and all, they don't know how to use, and, a lot of things are new. So they look forward to it. I heard a couple of our committee members, I should go to the teen council. These kids will teach me what to do very fast. So I think you guys are pretty popular. But what can they do to increase participation?
Well, I think just the fact that the teen council comes to the center is a draw in itself, because a lot of our participants are always looking at ways to share and understand, and to have somebody come from the community to do that, it's such a huge impact. One of the things that, especially, as a younger population understands and uses their phones or their tablets so more, it's second nature. And so for many of our older population who did not have those items as they've grown up, there's still a lot of aspects that are intimidating to them. So just the recent one is QR codes. I mean, they've been around, but a lot of our senior population has been resistant to using QR codes. And I think so things like, can we show, our population that it's actually a great, easy way to get information very quickly. So it's not just the Android and the Apple component, it's the idea of how do you use it. Our ride sharing services that we have here in San Ramon as part of Go San Ramon, but helping the older population understand how to use it, how to quickly access it, how to download the app. Those are aspects that still, for some, are challenging. And also the parts of it is translation and how to use the translation software. There's a lot. It's just amazing how much information is there, but sometimes people don't know how to use it, or again, it can be intimidating to use it. So that's where really it's amazing to have, a team member come into the center and work with somebody who's like, I don't understand this. Maybe somebody bought the phone for them thinking, hey, mom, I got you an iPhone. And they're like, that's great. I don't know how to use this. And then, of course, they're also nervous about asking for that help. And so then when we do have something like Teen Council come in, they can, say, hey, I'd like to sign up. And so those are the aspects, like if Teen Council's coming, how do they use that software that's on their phone? How do they access it? And then also what to look for. Of course, the other aspect is there's the scam component, which is unfortunate, but making sure that they know what to look for that could be, a possible scam. So things like that, I think would all be really appreciated. And we could also list that out so people know, when they sign up, what component they're signing up for.
Great. Yeah.
Just to add to that, just wearing the taxi hat is, if some of them might need how to download reports, especially during tax time, a lot of times nowadays, they don't even send the hard copy of their 1099s and, the, Schedule B and all that. And I've spent hours trying to call them and all that, but simple, download of reports, maybe something they will enjoy.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. And that's something that we'll look to incorporate going forward.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Thank you so much, Student Commissioner Chalanga. Commissioner Mitra.
Just one follow-up questions about this programs that you have. Like we do a lot of senior citizens program, right? It's just amazing. And you just says to 10,000 participants all over, right? Just curious.
10,000 participants, I think 10,000 activities.
Activities. Yeah. Okay. That's good. So question about the funding about this. Is it the seniors fund that or city subsidized it? Is it free? You know anything? about
There are some fees for some activities, but I think it's subsidized by the city and Senior Foundation.
Senior
They
Foundation?
do, yeah. They have a minimal fees for some classes,
Mhm.
drop-in fees and. all
But
that.
there are others, like, I mean, just, I see in the news that there is a lunch tour happened, right? That, which is amazing on that one, but just wanted to do we charge that for the seniors or is it
It's charged.
subsidized? It's charged for the city, for the from the seniors, okay?
Is there some?
Yeah,
maybe
there,
some portion might be funded.
Okay.
so
we put it-
depending on the activity, there is usually a fee associated with the different drop-in programs, for example. So if you come into the center and take a fitness program, the drop-in fee is $5 or $6 if you're out of San Ramon. The lunch bunch trip, the trip itself is paid for by the participant, and that covers the trip. So there's other expenses, you know, let's just use vehicle maintenance, for example, that's usually not incorporated to all of that fee, but the trip itself, you know, the mileage, the distance, the time, so that has a higher fee associated with it. And then we have registration classes on the evenings and weekends, you know, that help offset the cost of the program and the staffing at the facility are there. So it's all integrated into, you know, covering some of the costs, but it's still a senior center. And so these are community activities and we try to, you know, make them reasonably priced. So, you know, that our community still comes out and takes all those programs.
All right.
Thank you, Commissioner Mitra. Commissioner Dorlick, another question? Yes.
Well, just a comment. I mean, you made the comment that it's mostly daytime. As a demographically identified boomer, not all senior citizens, you know, hit Denny's at 4:30 and the bed at 7 o'clock at night. So you may consider expanding the services to have some evening events. Also, as people age, they may lose their lifetime partners. And there may be some, you know, events that might bring people together in that light as well. So, you know, focusing on the daytime is great, but as you said, there's more people that are in that demographic that are working. And so they can't come in at 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock or even maybe 6 p.m. But I would encourage the senior advisory and staff to look at other opportunities to engage seniors that are still active, you know, in the job market. And as I said, don't hit Denny's at 4:30 and the bed at 7 p.m., but, you know, have a little bit more robust lifestyle.
Okay, there's no other additional questions. Is there any public comment, Kathy? Okay, at this time, we will take additional comments from the Parks Commission. If there's any additional comments, please let me know. And then after that, we will call for a vote. So Commissioner Osland.
I just want to thank you, Udaya, for a lovely presentation. I remember interviewing you several years back, and you've come a really long way. Thank you so much for your service for the Senior Advisory Committee, as well as being the chair and for our community. I also wanted to comment, I'm really glad to see that there's a focus on outdoor walking groups. I feel like that's something that is important that we give a little bit more energy to. Hiking groups could be a little bit more extensive and then some more park kind of walks. So anyway, just wanted to thank you for getting that on your goals for 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Osland. I got you, Commissioner Shetty.
Thanks again for all the work you do. And then I really liked your 2026 goals. Specifically this isolation food security in this digital age. Even if you have family members in home, people are isolated, right? So thank you for all you're doing. And every time some sort of fraud email or fraud call I get, immediately I think about seniors. It's so sophisticated nowadays. So whatever we can do to continuously educate, and also in your newsletter, if it's possible, just to put the recent latest fraud or whatever, you can get that information from police. That will be very helpful because fraudsters also becoming more and more sophisticated, right? And also, as one of the commissioner mentioned, if it's possible to increase the hours, it will also help people like us who will be slowly transitioning there to mingle. So all in all, great work, and it's a need of the hour. Like library is very important for the younger generation. I believe the senior center is equally important for the older generation. So thank you again.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Shetty. Any other public comment before I go? Or public commissioner comment, sorry about that. Hey, a couple things. First of all, great report. Looking from Police Academy to Places, and look at you now leading the senior. That was awesome. So thank you so much. Hey, some feedback. I wanted to pause for a second. Like, Steve, you mentioned that we've increased enrollment since what? Was it plus 5,000? Because the interesting thing was looking at all the commissioners' face, and I didn't really understand what that number is, and I can't ask questions now, but I think where we can incorporate that data into the report that goes to the city council, I think would really be important because it actually ties in the what Commissioner Shetty said about how we're serving the older community and how they're responding. So I think that would be a really good thing to tie in. The other thing is tying in a little more to Commissioner Oslin's comment about the walks and the opportunity, because I still believe we still have an opportunity in Doherty Valley. And how do we get the seniors in the Doherty Valley to participate more into the great work we do at the senior center, because I know it's great work, and I think the walks is a really great way to go do that. But how do we make sure that we're providing the right services and the right information they need to know that what we have over in the senior center, we can get more of the seniors involved from the Doherty Valley part of the community. And the last comment is, we're here to help, so always let us know how we can help. I think you guys are doing really cool work and really important work. And I think the data point, I forgot who brought it up, is as our community gets older, a lot of people are aging in place. The senior center continues to be massively important to this community, and some really great work. So how do we continue to let people know what we're doing? So really nice job. That the plus 5,000 was pretty cool, like I said, to watch everyone's face. So thank you so much again for taking your time tonight to come. We're not over, so that's the comment. There's no other comments. So at this time, I'll look for a motion to approve to move to the city council with this report to the city council. Anyone want to move it?
Yeah, I'll move that we receive and approve the Citizens Advisory Committee Town report for 25-26. It only states that we provide feedback, not that we're to move it to the city council.
Okay, just second it. Okay, the mover was Commissioner Dorlick, second was Commissioner Shetty. You were close. So any other additional comments? There's no other comments. If we wait for it, we can vote. Take your time. It's not. Can you hit the second, Commissioner Shetty?
Oh, I didn't say.
It's no, it's.
Oh, you want me to hit second? I can hit second.
There we go.
Okay. I'm not proud. It's okay.
Okay, the motion, thank you so much. The motion is approved 6-0. And thank you guys so much again for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to Forest Home Farms. So I think Jessica is coming up to, Jessica Rebauer is going to come up, and the recommended action for the commission, the staff recommends the Parks and Community Service Commission receives the Forest Home Farms Historical Park update. Jessica, did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are up, and thank you so much for coming tonight. It's great to see you.
Yes, excellent. Chair Breed and commissioners, thank you so much for having me here tonight. There's a lot of robust information for me to come and follow up on. But I know the Boone House project has most recently come forward, and it's such a large project that it tells the greater story of Forest Home Farms, really why it's so important. And so I just wanted to be able to talk about our property and the programs overall. So Forest Home Farms Historic Park is really a cornerstone of our community. And upon that cornerstone, we put pillars. Some of the pillars that follow our commitment to instilling the values of Parks Make Life Better is we really view Forest Home Farms as a forever place. It is valued today. It has been valued. It will continue to be a value in our community. It's a great place to play. It's safe and outdoor space, provides nature, beauty, and serenity. And it is also a gathering place, a place for socializing and for learning. And as well, it supports our core values from our Parks and Community Services vision, which is to provide recreational experiences, foster human development, strengthen community image and sense of place, and increase cultural unity. And so I just wanted to be able to come here today to be able to celebrate all that we have going on. A little bit of context. Historically, Forest Home Farms Park, obviously the land has been there a long time, but it came to us as a park to honor Travis Bud Boone in 1998. And I bet when Travis was a little boy standing out there in front of the 1830s sheep pasture barn, he was not thinking that it was going to be the place that it is today. He was not necessarily thinking of making it the forever place that it is, but it was just getting down to work and supporting your family as you did. Down in the corner, you can see Travis and Mrs. Ruth Quayle Boone. They met down in Hollywood in the 20s, but moved back up to support the farm during the Depression. So you can see them in front of the Boone House there. Obviously, we have an updated picture of the Boone House in the left-hand corner. And if they were pioneers of the 20th century, learning how to navigate life on a new plane with new technology, then we are the pioneers that help to preserve that legacy and continue to tell that story, to promote the history and impress upon all of our modern hustlers and bustlers the importance and the need for these gathering places, the need for space, and the need for a little respite from this vast winding world and the urban sprawl. He made it a destination place even back in the 30s because of all of his inventions for walnut harvesting. And so it was really the locale, the place to get to on the map to help with walnut processing, of course, all the way up from Walnut Creek, people coming down, processing their walnuts using his inventions. They're also featured and studied at the UC system, agriculture school, as well as we have letters from India and the Czech Republic in around the 60s and 70s. So internationally, he was even known, and they were requesting information on his blueprints and patents. So I think that information gets missed a little bit, some of the time, and I thank you all for having already supported the farm outside of that and the Boone House project that is moving forward. But I just wanted to be able to come here and talk about that a little bit and celebrate that. As you continue to support that and everything that's happening at the farm, something that is very foundational are our educational field trips, which have received California Park and Recreation Society Award of Excellence in Programming. It started with our third grade programs, and it became the in addition to the Victorian Life program, which is mostly second graders, but we'll have some outside school districts come and sometimes do first grade. The curriculum is adaptable all the way through fifth grade, generally is where it fits in. And then in more recent years, we have taken the group tour of the 5 senses for transitional kindergarten age. And we have really modeled it after our other educational field trip programs. And so that just gets scheduled out with our schools, just as our other trips do. And so we really are just continuing to build upon the fact that Forest Home Farms is a gathering place and a place of play, a place of learning and education. And in an age of all-inclusive services, you know, people who walk our dogs, drivers who bring us food, and phones that automate our lives, our educational field trips teach the legacy and the value of hard work, of growing your own food. It's always really amazing seeing the kids come and pull vegetables out of the garden, excuse me, and eat them, and have parents be like, you don't eat vegetables at home. And I told them, well, you didn't pull it out of the ground. They're not excited to eat it. And on top of that, you know, doing chores, that's the other one. During the Victorian Life educational tours, the kids go outside and they sweep and they beat the rugs with the little batons, and they do wool carding. And again, parents are like, you don't do chores at home. And it's like, well, you maybe need to make it a little more interactive. We really like to get hands-on with the kids and give them those tools. You know, I know you can log on your little iPad these days and have a shop and a store, and you have your little person, kids I babysit, have a little person that they go make coffee and they serve. But there's nothing like actually getting your hands on products and incorporating those fine motor skills, gross motor skills, actual socialization and socializing skills. And it not only builds that sense of community image and place, but it increases cultural unity, because I have seen parents, again, on these field trips who have even shared, they were born out of the country, but I grew up and my grandma used that, whatever, juicer, egg beater. This is how we separate the milk and the cream. And so while it can be easy to drive past Forest Home Farms on the freeway, again, I just wanted to be able to tell some of those more niche stories that I really get to see firsthand. And then some of the special programs that we have on the farm, these are things that, in addition to the almost 3,000 students that we serve through our educational field trips, there are about 8,000 people that we see on an annual basis that come through for Fun on the Farm, which are free Saturday events just about every single Saturday out of the year, unless it's a major holiday or there's another large city event. There is a free activity from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. that we either tied to something historical or something farm-based or nature-based. Trick or Treat on the Farm is a huge draw, as well as Holiday on the Farm. We then also have special group tours that you can book, or living history tours that have involved descendants of the Glass House family, as well as coming around to just see the different components of the farm. Bill Clarkson has had his history tour that has gone more around the whole valley, but also centers around the farm and that information there. And then, of course, other events that get a big draw coming up will be sheep shearing, which is a foundation event, but it's hosted at the farm. It supports the farm. So there's just a lot of good synergy there. And then I also wanted to point out the fact that outside of just being able to see that it has a lot of great nature preserved right on the farm, in building out our nature programming, we have actually learned that Forest Home Farms is right in the path of the Great Pacific Flyway, which is a great migratory pattern for a lot of birds in the area. So we've also added some birding programs out there that are a part of our nature program, but they happen at the farm, as well as we have summer camps that happen out there. So there's a lot going on at the farm. Again, providing recreational experiences and then continuing to strengthen that sense of space, place, and community image. Of course, none of this is possible without great partnerships, none the least of which is the great working relationship that we have with our Public Services Department. Anything that we need, they're really on top of it. They're out there helping us, either doing the project or they are making space and clearing and creating a path for a contractor to come in and do a project for us, as well, of course, as our San Ramon Historic Foundation. A lot of times they are able to secure funding and help us start moving things in the right direction so that the city can come in and match funds. Public Works comes in and takes care of their area, and then staff advises on programmatically how it will best work into the programs and to continue to serve our great population around here. So these are just a few of the more recent projects that have been accomplished. The repainting of the glass house was a big project. The museum grade lighting added to the 1850s barn, and they're not in order, so I do apologize. Does this? So the bottom left corner, oh, if I do that. It's okay. Where you see our volunteers wearing the hats down in the corner, so there's not a great way to take pictures of lights, but they are using the light display, the specific museum grade lighting display, to then teach. Each area is highlighted separately, and so they'll point them out one at a time and use it as a great teaching tool. And then we also, of course, had in 2023 the expansion of our demonstration garden, which is organic. It's used in our education program, the Farm Life program for our third graders. 1830 Sheep Barn got a new cement floor. So that is the inside of the barn that you were looking at young, I believe, 7-year-old Travis Boone standing outside of on the second slide. Then, of course, I hope everyone's heard about the bees coming back to the farm. And so again, that was another great joint effort where the foundation was able to help fund the materials for Public Works to be able to go out, build a safe platform where we can have the bees on site, but safe and away from the public. And then we can have, of course, our beekeepers go and attend to them and then use the honey in our programs. And again, just continue to tell that story of the Valley. A new perimeter fence went in last year using CIP beautification funds. And then just last week, Public Works started or finished phase, what we'll call like the first phase, of sheep holding pens and a north-south fence, which was able to be funded by a grant from Supervisor Anderson's office, provided through the foundation. So again, all of these pieces working together. And then further down the line, we'll continue to reinforce some of those internal structures for the safety of the animals and people. So, and then even beyond partnerships, something about the farm is that it just draws people. People love it. And we have one of the strongest volunteer groups out there. Of course, we just saw the seniors. They also have a lot of great volunteers, no shade, but San Ramon's a great place to live and work and play and volunteer. And so our volunteers do everything from being docents in our educational program to people who just want to come to do the Glass House on Saturday tours, which is more geared for adults, and those tours are about 45 minutes. We actually also, in the last 2 years, have a descendant of a Glass family member who is leading some of those tours now on the weekends. They contribute to Fun on the Farm Saturdays. They maintain our tractors and do tractor rides. They ride in the parades in the St. Patty's Dublin Parade and the 4th of July Parade that happens in Danville. And so again, it is just this great synergistic flow of people coming in, loving the farm, bringing their friends, bringing their family, coming as students, bringing their kids back, and also serving as volunteers. And so it's just great to see families gather together on the grounds that we all work together to maintain. Children and adults alike being inspired by the volunteers that help to lead, and these individuals just get to be taken aback with the wonder at even tractor engines that run 3/4 of a century later. So really could not do it without all of their support. And then I wanted to close with this beautiful morning kind of late sunrise picture at the farm, because I really see Forest Home Farms as a bridge connecting the past to the present, really continuing to preserve and promote the history of the San Ramon Valley and all the great things that we have had going on. You know, we connect people to what has been and what can still be so good about being here. And so while people continue to clamor and chase after the next best thing, we are here to support the still best thing. Hours and hours, over a century represented of hard work and labors of love. Just to be able to show off what a gem we still have here in the city. And so on behalf of staff and all parties involved in maintaining this beautiful place, I just want to say thank you all for your support and for helping us to keep this legacy alive.
All right, Jessica, thank you so much. And by the way, I know a lot of work goes in these reports, and we really appreciate all the work and time you had to put in to do this. So it's super informative. So thank you so much for your time. We're going to do commissioner questions. Okay. Then we'll do public comment and comments from the commissioner. So does any commissioner have any questions about the report? Commissioner Osland.
I need a Kleenex. I mean, you were really on fire. That was a beautiful presentation. And thank you so much for really kind of painting a picture of this beautiful gem and piece of property that we have in our city. My question is, would you mind sharing the staff that resides at the farm? Share who works there?
Is working at the farm?
Yes, and what they do.
Yes. So myself as a supervisor, I'm on site, also supervise some other programs. We have a full-time coordinator, Elise Lightfoot, and she is really the hands-on day-to-day things that are going on at the farm while also building out our nature program. She came, gosh, it was maybe a year and a half ago now, to give a nature presentation update. And so she's the one who helped us find out about the Great Pacific Flyway, and we're starting to offer some more items there. We fortunately recently were able to also pick up 2 new part-time staff who were filling a gap that had been not filled for a little while. And so those 2 new staff, Alma and Caden, will be helping to support our education program, building out additional specialty tours, continue to support our special events on Saturdays, as well as those every Saturday activities that happen. And just be a part of continuing to keep the flow and the energy going, and hopefully continue to even build out more within our education program as well, build up capacity for that. Thanks.
And one more, Marianne.
Oh my gosh, so sorry, thank you. I was so focused on the programs. Oh dear, I know, wow. So Marianne Simmons, a gem of a human being to come back after having been a supervisor at the farm, and now is working to maintain our collections. We have over 10,000, close to 11,000 items in our collections that are historic pieces. And so she manages and maintains that, as well as helps put together exhibits for us through, you'll see sometimes here at City Hall at the display case, and then also on the property over at the Glass House. And then moving forward, I have her and Alma working together. Alma has some background in collections management as well, and hopefully grow synergy that I believe used to exist more so within the Tri-Valley of sharing exhibit items. So yes, yeah, thank you.
Okay, there's no more additional questions. So is there any public comment, Kathy? Thank you so much. Okay, we are going to go into any commissioner comments. So does any commissioner have any comments before we proceed? Vice Chair Levy.
Okay. No, thank you, Jessica. A terrific presentation. I think Commissioner Osland hit it right on the head that I also got a little bit emotional with that close. Because it really did drive home that this is a very special asset that's very unique to this city. And especially as so much of the city's other characters changing through the infill development in the city core to preserve something like Forest Home Farms and to put some resources into preserving it, I think is very important to help us remember our heritage and kind of give us an idea of where we're going. So I don't really have any comments or questions. It's more of just, I'm just really glad that the city makes that investment. I think it's important. And I do hope that the residents of San Ramon appreciate that, because it's important.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Levy. Commissioner Mitra.
Yeah, I think if don't have a comment, I just wanted to appreciate you and your staff, city staff, how wonderful work with that. I've been doing that. So we did a couple of tours last year, earlier this year. Seeing that amazing transformation of this and what you guys are going through, doing that, especially teaching those small kids in the well from our community. That's really wanted to appreciate that. So you, as well as, please take our appreciation to all the staff members.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mitra. Commissioner Osland.
Well, your presentation was fabulous, as I just said, but I also want to kind of add a couple other little players that are involved in this farm. And our mayor, Mark Armstrong, is our beekeeper. He I don't even know what you call it, but he puts the honey in the jars and bottles it up for us to sell. And he's very invested in that. And so we're very, very lucky to have him. Bill Clarkson has really invested a lot, our former mayor, Bill Clarkson, about our local history, offering bus tours of the Tri-Valley and really giving a lot of emphasis on our farm. Carol Rowley, our president of the foundation, she is instrumental in coming up with these school programs. I mean, she kind of came up with that brainchild, and she's been our president for many years and done a lot for our community. She and Abram Wilson, a former mayor, also worked with Ruth Quill Boone to get the property, have the conversations about having it donated to the city. So there's just a lot of it's a lot of history, but there's a lot of still folks that are here that are really invested in the property. And I just want to thank you, Jessica. You put a lot of energy there. You're always there. And if I ever need anything, you're always very responsive, and your staff there. So, and Henry and Brad too. I mean, it's just, it's a really friendly, wonderful place. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Commissioner Shetty.
I just want to thank you for very informative and wonderful presentation. And also, big thank you for having these wonderful programs for the children. That's a right way to get them engaged and get interested, because hopefully when they grow up, they will start engaging and then keep this, take this history forward. And every day when I drive from there, it reminds me of the proud history of the San Ramon, and the way it is maintained, it's always inviting. So thank you very much for you and to the staff.
Thank you.
Hang on. No other comments except mine. So I said in the beginning, thank you so much for putting this all together and Zeal coming in. When I looked at your report, the one thing I always I think is kind of cool is our partnership with the schools. Even you said to pre-K in there, I think it was like 3,000 students that come through. And I still think it's super important because it ties into what you said about how do we get people, including me, off the electronics and more the hands-on. Some of the examples you gave was super interesting and helpful. So I think that's really, everything's important, but I think that's super important. And how do we continue to grow that out? Because it gets people appreciating history a little bit more and it's kind of living history, right? So it's really cool. So, and then also the management of the volunteers. It's great. We have a lot of volunteers. I love that, but managing them, because everyone wants to be there and be productive and give back. So managing that, I think, is really important. And I appreciate that you do that. The last thing I was sitting there thinking, everybody, I forgot who preceded you or who was in front of you, but they did a great job moving the farm forward, whether it's different activities and you're doing a really nice job doing like you talked about I'm going to really shatter it, but the path of the birds, right? How do we see an opportunity and engage on that, and doing a partnership with this with Forest Home Farm Foundation, but looking for opportunities to continue to expand and get more of our community involved. So, nice job. I think it's, obviously everyone up here is super thankful for the staff and for all you do to make this really important historical history continue to live and open to the public. So thanks. And like I said, Mr. Shetty and Vice Chair Levy were thinking what I said, so I don't want to repeat what they said, but ditto what they said. So, all right. So you know what? There's no vote. So you were
so
done.
much.
Thank you so much for
Appreciate it.
your coming tonight and your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
All right, we're going to move on with our agenda. We're now going to the director's report. So Director Perizano, sorry about that. You are up, my friend.
Thank you and good evening, Chair and Commissioners. This is again just my opportunity to, outside of the activity report, which you receive every month, but just to give you some other updates that might be going on through the city and things that our department going, as well as an opportunity for me to add any type of updates or events or pre-planning that might be settling in on the goals that you all set during your workshop as well. So really, I just wanted to say, as we step into February, second month of the year, this is a time for our staff is what I would call budget season. So I know that the commission asked a couple of questions on, what funds what, and those are all the things that we're kind of working on right now to ensure that when we go into the new fiscal year, that we have asked for all that we need, and also provided ourselves an opportunity for creativity and to essentially, continue to bring the fun forward and the opportunities forward to the best that we can for the community as a whole. So we are definitely in there, in it right now. And I would say looking forward to presenting that information to the council when the time is appropriate, which is, soon. So we're looking forward to that. So just so you know that when you ask and you see how are these things funded, a lot of the things are done through the programming budgets that we have within each one of our program areas. And we really do want to think forward and ensure that we are having meeting all the needs that we can at this moment to the best of our abilities. At the same time, we have our council who is meeting and just recently met for their retreat as well. That took place on January 31st. And what was fun as far as the outcomes is that they were able to specifically go down and reach their goals and say, these are our new goals for the year, and wanted to make sure that they are moving forward in a variety of ways. And there are a few specifically that line up right along with your goals, which is really nice to see that it's not just that is a holistic view of what we've got going on throughout the city, that we're all kind of walking the same path and walking in the same direction. I'll share a couple of those and how it kind of lines up as well. For one of your goals, the communication plan, kind of the outreach marketing thing. And I know I've mentioned this before, but more specifically, I know that our communications team is looking forward to putting something forward and fresh so that there is a good, even from branding to communication, how we do that for the city as a whole goes out. There's a communications roadmap that was discussed last night at the council meeting. So we look forward to seeing how that kind of develops and how we as the Parks and Community Services Department can line up in that. But also part of the goals for the council was to refresh the city website to improve the user experience. So all those little things kind of come into connection, right? When we talk about our interconnectivity, that any loop or path that we want to look forward into the future, again, the part of the council goals will be to the implementation of the Trails Master Plan, which we have on the docket that we know is in its final stages right now. It's in a public review period, and we have that final version coming to you next month. With the teen services and programs, the Teen Council, just looking at what they're doing too, is that they're hosting. They were talking about that Senior Tech Days, and just knowing that is something that is coming up here on February 17th from 10 to 12. So that is continuing to see how our teens are of service to our community. And I know that I shared this previously last month, just like tidbits of our lifeguarding classes, the water safety instructor classes, but two other points that I wanted to point out this time when we talk about our teens and what they do to help support our community is that they support the workforce development through our lifeguarding, through our after-school programs, through our summer staff, all of that. But specifically our lifeguards and our pool staff, how they develop and strengthen our community safety and the emergency readiness. And that's something that I know that we highlighted within our activity report. But I also find it so amazing that out of the 120 staff, half of them, 60 of them, hold instructor level certifications. That is an important thing to note, because we have people who are invested not only in themselves through their work, but invested in the future. Because we always need those that have certifications that will be able to teach others. And then also we have our full-time staff that have what we would call the instructor trainer certificates, even that higher level. So we're constantly looking at and how to improve that. And then when we look at the park amenities, kind of when you talked about through your workshop to evaluate the use and need and improve, and I have to go back to the part of the council goal being develop the Forest Home Farms renovation plan, which we all know for us right now is going to be focusing on the Boone House and kind of what goes next on that one. They also talked about the advancing the Rancho San Ramon Community Park Phase 2 to its next milestone. So that is one of their goals as well. And then just a side note on some of our amenities, the shade structure out at the San Ramon Community Center has started. We have the bones is what I'll call. So right now we're waiting for the meat to be to come out there. So the actual shade product is being fabricated right now, and then they'll be hopefully posted up soon. So that is really soon. So we've got the if you go out there, you'll see where it's going to be hung, and where it's pretty big, and it's going to cover a lot of area. So it's going to be nice to see. But stay tuned as that's coming through as well. One of your goals as well was to remember the demographics, the young adults. And when I talk about the working at our budget, and I say, are we trying to meet all the needs? So that's been part of our discussion. One of the things I've been challenging our staff to do is brainstorm a little bit. What are the things that we can do that will be bringing people out? And I can tell you right now that our staff is currently and has currently sat and talked about that age as well. What can we put in the budget to ensure that we are trying to bring people out at all ages, whether it be the younger adults, because we know we've got to focus on youth, we got to focus on teens, but that younger adults, the pre-seniors, and trying to make sure that we have something out there for them during the programming, whether it be a meetup, whether it be a sunrise hike, to different type of meetup groups, to potentially, who knows, maybe we can even pull off paddleboard yoga. But all of those things are ideas that are coming up, but really trying to specifically drive opportunities for our younger demographic to come on board and enjoy. And then again, partnerships is another one for you folks that you really wanted to look at. And again, highlighting one of the areas from the activity report when we looked at what Plantify, that local nonprofit group, led a mushroom walk through Los Trompas, sharing that fungal ecology. I just wanted to say that, and that's why I put it out there for you. And then also helped identify a variety of mushrooms along the way. But just again, partnerships are along. We understand the foundation partnerships and other things of that effect. And then when we talk about when the question came up was how do we let people know that we have other groups that can help? We really try and do our programming in three ways. We either provide it ourselves, or we partner with someone to provide it, or we facilitate it happening elsewhere, because we can't be doing everything that we would love to do for everyone. So we do really need those partnerships, and we recognize that as well. So it's so people like Plantify really help to kind of bring something different, to our community. And then lastly, one of the council goals that I wanted to point out is to develop and implement a Parks and Community Services cost recovery sustainability subsidy policy. Really trying to look at how are we doing this and how are we moving forward. So we do have a couple of our folks who have went through a program called Fiscal Sustainability for Parks and Recreation, which we're really trying to dive into, take a look at how do we charge for what we do, but how do we put on the different events? And so that particular, those group of folks are going to be forming under Brad's watchful eye, a fiscal sustainability task force to really take a look at that, which will also include partly that council goal of that sustainability policy. So really looking forward to diving into that. That will come to you at some point, as soon as we kind of dive into that. So we will definitely be getting some feedback from you on that. And other things in the other news in the area, I just wanted to let you know that I have been hard at work changing things up. And when I say that, I really mean to our staff. We have about 4 new staff that are going to be coming on board and in different roles with the recreation coordinator level. I have been able to reclassify different positions so that we can have a little bit more capacity from the folks that are with us. And I do look forward to introducing them all to you. Some of them actually have been internal promotions. Some have been some of our part-time folks that were hired, and then some external ads as well. So really trying to bolster up our staff. Hopefully by the end of this month, they will all be in place and ready to say hello. So, you could come and make sure that they come say hi to you and they introduce them to you at some point as well. So looking forward to that and how that is done. Again, my opportunity to build the capacity to have our staff really focus on how we can bring the best that we can to the city and to our community through programming and the services we have. A couple of things too. I've mentioned previously that there's going to be changes in how things are done through the budget process. One of the things, typically you may have seen the fee resolution. Those are some of the things that are going directly to council at this point, you know, in collaboration with our finance department and how they want to roll out what some of the things are going. There's a little bit more of a consolidated effort to get things straight to the council. I am trying to arrange for you folks to get a presentation from our finance folks so that you can kind of get a better idea of what's going on. So I'm trying to schedule that for you. And also keeping in mind that it is budget season and they probably have the highest lifting of all that. So stay tuned on that. Another little side note, the Arts Foundation purchased about $1,300 worth of music equipment that can be used for a variety of classes and camps. We're happy to have the new music stands, stand lights, and mobile music whiteboards. So all these things to help, you know, promote the arts in different ways. One of the things you may also be aware of, or if not, there's an RFP out for swim lessons that is going out. We also to see who can potentially take on the swim lessons for our program areas. And also the athletic field use analysis. We're going out for the near future for that so we can get some more information. All of those things will, you know, especially the field use analysis, will be coming back to you for comments and things to that effect. Just a couple of upcoming events for you to round me out here. Saturday Fun on the Farm, it's been mentioned. My understanding is kicking back up this Saturday. So, you know, weather permitting, and from what I just saw earlier, that weather will permit. So if you have some time, you know, head on over. And then just to hit on a couple of things with the Senior Center again. They have a senior mindfulness workshop that's going to be hosted on February 26th, hosted by CEWA International, and that's going to be from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's a free workshop, so anytime I can get free, I try and do that, just so you know. That helps our budget as well and gets people in there. But that free workshop will help guide the seniors participate through techniques that really support emotional health, reduce stress, and enhance overall well-being. So we look forward to having that out there. And also another thing that's going to be happening on March 10th, and it's just making sure that we let you know this when you say, hey, how can we help? In this particular case, we want to get the word out to this particular day and any day. If you're aware of seniors or folks that are contemplating how to get around, what is transportation? We're trying to find the best way to provide that and help provide it. Again, when I go back to providing, partnering, or facilitating, what is the best way that we can do that for our community? We have an opportunity right now to look at different transportation options for the community. And one of those options potentially could be with the county. The county staff is going to be available to answer transportation related questions, provide application assistance, really to help determine the eligibility for what they call LINK services. Now, LINK offers convenient transportation options for ADA paratransit services throughout the county. And again, this opportunity right now allows people to come ask questions to find out how can I be eligible for this particular service. This particular service, from my understanding as well, and you will hear more later, but the little inklings and the seed planting, I want to say, gives us way more opportunity, way more time availability for folks to be able to go. So if they want to go to dinner, it'll be available at the dinner hours versus just more of a segmented daytime hours talking about this. This is really kind of hitting the seniors that may need a little bit help, that, you know, once the driving stops. But there are certain things that they have to meet for eligibility, which I do not have with me at the moment in case someone has that question. But we're definitely going to be exploring that a little bit more. But one of the first steps is to get this information out to the seniors so they understand what it is and that they know what the process would be to be a part of it and to move forward with that. Those are the down and dirty updates I have for you today. I hope you also enjoyed the activity report, but I am here for any questions.
So at this time, we will have any questions for the director.
Just one question.
That's Commissioner Mitra.
Yeah, so Henry, one quick question, just want a clarification about the fees. Did I hear there will be fees updates and that will come to us at some point? Did I hear that correctly?
No, what I was saying is that throughout this timeframe, knowing that with the budget process and how we're working at through the city as a whole, the fee resolution right now will be going directly to council.
Okay.
So, and that's what will be going, and that's going, I believe, next month.
So you're talking about facilities fees or something else?
Facility fees. So any of the facilities, the fee structure that would be normally at the end of the day approved by council will just be going directly to them earlier.
We used to approve it and see.
What we're going to try and do with that, I think, in the future is if there's something new that we're aware of, we'll come by here and kind of add it.
Yeah,
But there's really
nothing
nothing new, and that's going to be our attempt to do that. But at this point, we're working through the new budget process,
Right.
And the new budget process really trying to implement efficiency and kind of making sure that everything gets through and quickly to the council as best we can.
Got it. And my only thing is that if there is any change, anything that we are increasing or anything, just it'll be a good idea to keep us in the loop.
Well, I can let you know that right now there is probably going to be some change more along the lines of what we would call based on CPI. So basically based on what the rest of fees would be going up on an annual basis, anywhere up to 3%, something along those lines.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Any additional questions? Commissioner Shetty?
Yeah, I have a quick question on that transportation link service, what you mentioned. Is that available free or the subsidized rate for the seniors?
My understanding is $5 of a rate is what will be. So there will be a charge, but $5. And if it's monthly or per ride.
Per ride. Okay, thank you. Very useful that.
Yeah. And again, more information to come. This is really just the beginning. We really just want to get the information out and gather more information as well.
Any additional questions? Okay, Henry, I got like 3 questions. Do we put in for grants?
When appropriate.
So that's no, right? Or
No, that's honestly, that's a when appropriate.
okay,
If
better
and when.
question is out of 365 days in a year, how many times do we put in for a grant?
I do not have that number specifically. I do know that we do put in for grants from time to time. Again, when it's appropriate for depending. One of the things that we run up against from time to time is that we are probably more affluent than we could, and which limits our eligibility for a lot of things.
Yeah, okay, got it. School boards, the school superintendents is the same thing, actually, about the affluent of our community. What about, when I first got in here, Mayor Hudson was really big about the Parks Commission gets a lot of awards. Do we submit for awards because we do a lot of cool groundbreaking things, I think, within parks. Do we submit our ideas and stuff through the?
Yeah, so when we know that we're eligible for any awards through the California Parks and Recreation Society, we absolutely will put them in. Sometimes it's more on the state level, and sometimes it'll be more on the local level.
Okay.
And again, depending on the application guidelines, and sometimes something has to happen for 3 years in order to be eligible. So.
And then, thank you. And then what's the objective or the final outcome of the athletic use analysis? What are we trying to achieve out of that?
At the end of the day, we would like to know a couple of things. One, what are the needs? Are there, what I hear year after year for almost, 20 plus years of my career, I've heard we need more of this. So at the end of the day, for us, we want to make sure that, is that true? What do we need more of? Based on what we have, based on the current usage and potential for future usage, do we have all that we need within that within the athletic field space?
And what are we going to do with the data once we get it? How are we going to use how do we want to use it?
1, provide it to this commission. 2, provide it to the council, and 3, have it as a resource for if and when there are any CIPs or any other needs that may come from it. So it's definitely the resource that will guide us for, potential projects.
Okay, I just want to make sure there's a good use for it. Okay, that's super helpful. Commissioner Shetty, do you have any more comments? You good? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, that's all we have. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, we are now into commissioner reports. So I'm sorry, commission liaison reports and announcements. Commissioner Shetty, you want to go first and we'll go this way?
Sure. So I attended the Dr. Martin Luther King Day celebration here, organized by San Ramon Valley Diversity Coalition. Very well organized event. Our Congressman Dee Salner also was there along with many other leaders. That's the one. Second one, I did attend the 27th of Jan, a city council meeting. There's a bunch of information from there. Was Arts Advisory Committee presented the same way what they presented to us. And there's an announcement about the cultural day, which we were aware of it. And also they presented, our staff presented independent auditor report of 2025, and the auditors were also there. So that's that. And they announced about the orchard project next hearing, which happened last Monday. Yeah, one of the big one, the Giants Fan Fest, which that happened, it attracted more than 10,000 people. That's one of the update they made there. And that's pretty much it. And then there's a job fair for the youth on March 7th at Pleasanton. That in that fair, they will not only have a job fair or the summer internship, but also they will help with the mock interviews. That's my update. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Osland.
I was unable to attend the Senior Advisory Committee meeting this past Monday before last, February 2nd. Commissioner Caney attended in my absence, but he's not here, so I can't give a report on that. And then the Open Space Advisory Committee took place the same day, and I had a previous commitment, so I was unable to attend that one as well. Chair Breed attended in my absence, and so he'll give the report on that. The two things I do want to bring out is I want to say thanks staff and Henry for putting the crab feed in there in the staff report. We had over 200 guests. It was a sellout, and there were 600 pounds of crab that was consumed. Thank you, Commissioner Vice Chair Levy, for helping in the kitchen. And we had a slideshow showing all the activities that the foundation is responsible for. This was put on by the San Ramon Historic Foundation. And just wanted to say thank you to the city. I mean, the staff, the park staff helped us set it up, clean it up. I mean, without their help, this would not have been possible. So thank you very, very, very much for allowing the staff to help us pull this event together. And we raised a nice amount of money, and all the funds will go towards the restoration of the Boone House. One other thing, and I wanted to ask Director Alonso if we could possibly think about maybe changing the time of our June 10th Parks Commission meeting. It is on the same night as the Bruce Hornsby and the Noisemakers concert, and I would like to attend that, and I'm wondering if others might want to too. So is it possible for us to maybe have our meeting earlier that day? So I just wanted to put that out there.
Or do you want it earlier? Does everyone want it earlier?
How much earlier did you go?
Well, I don't know what time the concert is.
Well, I'll say this as opposed to a discussion at the moment. If I can get some head nods as to look at, then we definitely could offer some options for you for the June 10th meeting. So I'm looking like I have a good number of you, majority of you that are here. Okay.
Okay.
Aren't you going?
Sure, thank you. So last week on February 3rd, at the Planning Commission meeting, they had the third of the 5 public hearings allowed by law on the Orchards development, and ultimately did approve it along with the conditions of approval. And so that will get forwarded on to the next steps in the process. Just as a quick reminder for everyone, the Orchards development would demolish the former Chevron property, which is 92 acres, and replace it with more than 2,500 residential units in a phased build out over the next 20 years. It's a massive project, very complicated, a lot of incredible parts and moving pieces to it. And so, yeah, a lot of information there. And I definitely would encourage anyone who's interested in learning more to watch the recording of that meeting or review the staff reports. So that was the Planning Commission meeting. I did attend the Culture and Community event the past weekend, or 2 weekends ago, which was a extremely great event. It's a terrific showcase of the cultures of San Ramon. I would say the Ridgeview Room at Doherty Station, I've never seen it that full. That was definitely a packed crowd. So there's a lot of interest in the community in that event, and I think that's terrific that we do that. And then lastly, I would just like to gently reiterate the desire I expressed at the last commission meeting to have the issue of City Green be agendized for a future meeting. I definitely don't want to burden staff too much with it, but I do think it's important that we discuss it. So there we go. And that's fine. That's what I got.
Okay, sorry, my thing's not on, my microphone. Commissioner Mitra,
Thank you, Chair.
you're welcome, thank you.
Okay, so Tin Council met on January 20th. Our Tin Council Commissioner, General Legada, will definitely go in detail. So I don't want to take too much, but I just wanted to mention there are 3 items that were discussed. One is approval of participation of Tri-Valley Job Fair. That is, Commissioner said he just mentioned that. So they discussed that on participations and March 2nd at 12 to 3. And it's a senior center. It's a Pleasanton Senior Center, I think, and it's a free admission, but they're asking only for the teens to attend, not the parents, because that'll be free food as well as teen only event. There are other things there, team center, teens related. Second one was approval of recommendation of 2026 Outstanding Teen Citizen Award. There were 5 participants, and Dania Prakash have been selected. He is a senior from the Cal High students. And the third one was approval recommended for ambassador program. So I think that there are some selection going on or happening, but there are a few recommendation as well. So maybe can go in details later. So those are the updates from the Teen Council meeting on January 26th.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Mitra. Commissioner Dorlick.
I was out of town on business meetings and I referred that I was going to be out of town so that the backup liaison could attend the Arts Advisory Committee meeting. I also informed Adam Chow that I would not be in attendance at the meeting, so I don't know if anybody backed up or not. So that's my
Okay.
report.
That's great.
And I'm sticking with it.
Hope you had a great meeting. So
Actually, we did. Got a lot accomplished. Thank you.
yeah, I'm done. What you do is pretty important. So, okay, Student Commissioner Jagalaga.
All right, thank you. So we discussed participating in the Tri-Valley Teen Job Fair. It's on March 7th. And we're just looking forward to helping with a little bit of event logistics, just helping set up and clean up after the event and helping with all of the event coordinators. And hopefully a lot of teens in the Tri-Valley get some meaningful information from there. And we also, so we reviewed the Outstanding Teen Citizenship Award process and ways to improve participation. We kind of looked at how many participants we've been getting over the last, I think, like 12 years, and how we're able to increase our participation while still keeping our timeline effective with the school year and what teens are doing during summers versus the school year. So from our experience with the award this year, for next year, we really want to focus on increasing our earlier outreach at the beginning of summer through San Ramon schools and clubs and various types of like libraries and stuff like that, and social media, and also just emphasizing award incentives. And then, our last discussion was the ambassador program selection process, and specifically the way that we're reviewing applicants and kind of like the admissions process and how we're interviewing applicants and things that we're taking into consideration when we're making that choice. We focused on how we can improve for next year with earlier promotion and just a better and clearer timeline for applicants, as well as the ad hoc committee in terms of how they need to look forward to be able to review the applicants in an efficient manner.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Jagalaga. Okay, I have the last update, and I also went to the same meeting you did, actually. Yeah, so the only thing I would add on is during the council's review of the art commission, they brought up that they asked us to look at doing artist therapy. So, and Adam responded to that. That's on our agenda, which I thought was pretty interesting because I never heard about it. So I thought that was good feedback. They also wanted to know how we qualify our artists for being put up in our facilities. So, and the only other thing I thought was kind of cool is we are ranked really high from an audit standpoint. We get awards for our audit as a city. So I say that because we're pretty financially sound. So, and also just a fun fact, since Vice Chair Levy's sitting next to me, the general fund is $29.1 million, and this past year Measure N brought in $1.8 million. So it shows you how important Measure N has been. So anyways, my second committee I went to was the charge for the Open Space Committee. So as many may know, that the city is reviewing all our commissions and committees, and they're right now looking at open space and what is the right charge for open space. So I sat and learned a lot in that committee, and I want to, though Commissioner Osland wasn't physically present, she was present she actually wrote the charge for the suggested charge for the Open Space Committee that everyone used. I want to recognize the work you put in, and the homework you did was well received, and actually was a guiding principle that they used for open space. And I will tell you that the passion in that room for open space, and Brad did a good job managing the meeting, but on where it should go and the role it should play is there. And I know there's a lot of people that want to make sure the open space is charged with the right work to be done that affects the city. So just I want to highlight a couple of things that Julia wrote that everyone adopted was, how do we continue to serve as a liaison for the committee, but how do we maintain collaboration with our partners and the other entities? So you think about other entities that have impact on open space, how do we leverage them and also possibly invest so they can invest in open space, which I thought was pretty cool. Another one I wanted to highlight is, how do we make recommendations on how to facilitate and encourage access to open space? So as we're building out, or as we're, looking at different, and I don't know who, I think Stephen talked, I'm sorry, the city manager talked about how we look at possibly acquiring different open space properties. How do we do that, and what role, if any, does the Open Space Committee play and help guide or provide suggestions into the city council, and the city council works with the city manager on that. So those are some more work to be done on that. What I found pretty interesting, and it always hits me, is the Open Space Committee reports into the city council, but a lot of the Parks Commission, parks folks manage a lot of that work for them. So I thought that's a disconnect, if you want my personal opinion. So, but there's still work being done on the charge. I think there's gonna be another meeting, Henry, I'm not sure when, to really talk more about where open space is headed, but I would encourage any of us or all of us to, go and listen and participate, since open space comes in and reports to us, because I certainly learned a lot, and it makes you think about, as we have a committee, what are they trying to deliver back into the city and how we're going to use the information. So you don't know when that next meeting, I don't want to put you in a spot, so I apologize.
No, there is no date at this point, because it's
Okay.
going to be a joint meeting with that and the
Traffic advisory.
PAC, so the transportation. So there's a few different folks that will be coming together.
Yeah, so that's kind of the next steps on that. So when that's announced, I encourage people to go and learn. It's actually pretty interesting as we make decisions as a city on our resources. So it's really helpful. But once again, I want to recognize Commissioner Osland for her great work that she sent, because that was massively important for the meeting. All right, that's it. We've gone through the liaison report. We are going to adjourn at, I have my phone with me. Hang on really quick. 9:22 on February 11th, 2026. And thank you guys all for being here.